So this backpack I was thinking about bringing on the beach or just out when we're out and about in California, and it'll, you know, carry everything I need and be easy to carry on my back. And then just for regular, you know, maybe out to dinner or whatever, I was going to bring my purse that I use for every day, and I can do a what's in my purse video one of these days. Another item I'm going to be bringing is my curling iron, Revlon. I believe this was either an inch or an inch and a half. I don't know, I've had it for a while. And then this Toiletries makeup bag. I will be bringing this. It is Sonia Kashuk, and I've had it for a long time, but I'm going to be putting my makeup in there, and I'm bringing these. I think these are real leather, but they look similar to Tory Burch, but I actually purchased these at a little boutique in Prescott, Arizona. And then these are sandals, my outfits, or maybe all my outfits, I don't know yet. And I will be painting my nails, my toenails, a different color. I'm not sure which color I want to use. I've had the red on a while, so I wanted to renew them. It's actually a duffel bag, and these are all my accessories, including my makeup and my hair tools and shampoo, conditioner, and it's this iridescent bag from Walmart. I think my parents purchased this for me for Christmas one year. I have just my floss that I use. This is the Glide original, and I really like it. I just have my toothbrush. This one is a super cheap toothbrush. I don't mind if I lose it. It's a Equate toothbrush. This is the Walmart brand. I always bring a Sensodyne travel toothpaste. I'm always using some kind of sensitive toothpaste. The item I have in here is the mouthwash, extra minty one. I don't remember the name of it, but it does the job. And then another few items I have in here are my conditioner, and at the moment I'm just using this Garnier Fructis. And then I have, no joke, I have, let's see, 4 lotions in here. Lotion all over my room. I cannot stand my hands or anywhere on my body being dry. And then another item I have, I don't use it as much as I used to, but it is detangling spray. My hair was getting so tangled, and it is really long. The reason I figured out it would get tangled if I even moved. Like, it was so bad. I went to get a haircut one time, and the hairdresser was like, "What are you doing to your hair? Your hair is a tangled mess." And so I figured out it was dry shampoo that was making my hair so tangled, because now I rarely even use this. I don't use dry shampoo too much because I notice it tangles my hair very bad. Another item I have is a just little bag of, it's like some essential oil, and some camphor and other ingredients. It's called lysine, and I use it when I have like canker sores or cold sores. It works amazing. Item I have is, I think it's shampoo or body wash. And then I also have a bar of soap, which is just a lavender bar. And then another item I have in here is an under eye cream. This I got at the dollar store. Just because I need an under eye cream really bad, and I noticed it worked just fine. So I may in the future invest in something more expensive and try some things, but right now I'm just using this, and I use it at night before I go to bed. I don't really use it under my makeup because I notice it does stay like pretty, not oily, but you know, moist for a while, and I don't want to put my makeup over that. I'm going to be bringing, I am just going to be bringing some makeup brushes, and these are all different ones that I've collected over the years. I can do a makeup collection for you guys sometime, but I just like to keep them in these Ziplocs when I'm traveling, because in my accessory bag, I don't want everything to get all like powdery, and like I cleaned these recently, but not just recently, so they're gonna have a little bit of powder on them. And then the next item I'm bringing is a, I believe, 1.5 inch curling iron barrel, and it is Conair. I got it at Walmart years and it hasn't broke, so I'm using this. Other item I'm bringing is just vitamin D. Other items are just hair accessories that I have. I'm not necessarily going to use these, but I decided to have them on hand just in case I do. This first one is a headband from Gucci, and there's also another one, and then just some little hair clips that I got at the Dollar Tree, and a hair dye just in case I need it. Okay, next up we have our makeup items. My first makeup item, I just have this Merlot Eyes by Profusion. I like to call this one Rum Raisin, and then sometimes I use this for the inner corner. This Milani blush in Coralina, and we'll be using that blush, and it's just like a coral color as the name states, but it has some like silver gold like shimmer in it. It's really pretty. I am bringing another blush, is the Berry Amore from Milani, and this one is more of a mauve-y color with some gold shimmer in it, and that's not as, it's still springy, but it's not as summery, you know, so I might wear that. And then I'm bringing this makeup sponge. I use these like 2 to 3 times before getting a new one. These are my all-time favorite. They work the best. They don't leave lines on your face. They are from Target. They're easy to work with. I just really like them. And then I am bringing this foundation. This is the Matte Poreless Maybelline Matte Poreless in 110 Porcelain, and this is actually too light for me, so I like to mix it at the moment with the CoverGirl 3-in-1, And this is the shade Classic Ivory, which is a little bit too dark. But I love the coverage, so I mix those two. And then I also sometimes mix the L'Oreal True Match Nude with this for very light. This is the shade Very Light, but I would say it's a little bit just dark for me. So I mix these all together. And I will say, when I use this, when I put this in the mix, as well as some other items, my skin has been looking super clear. This I use as my contour and my bronzer. And it is the L'Oreal True Match. This is just a face powder, but it is in warm. So it is darker than my skin color. And I just use this for contouring on top of this, which I got at the dollar store. I want to try out some dollar makeup, and I will say I liked this, as I think that's meant to be a face powder, but it's the LA Colors in tan, and I use it as, yeah, it's pressed powder. I use it as a contour, but it is a little dark, so a little like grayish. So I like to warm it up with the L'Oreal True Match, and I'll just like put these together, you know, just use the light sweeping on those. And then when I do my bronzer, I use only this, and I just put it around here and, you know, on my nose, my chin, or, you know, wherever the light will hit you. And then I had a couple more eyeshadows. I have this e.l.f. palette, and this is in Nude Rose Gold. But I've had this for years, and I don't always use it because I move on to other things, but it is a good basic palette to have, and so I'll use that sometimes. And then I also, two more eyeshadows I have are the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow in Eternal Sunshine, and this one I love because I usually put it on the center of my lid. It is just this fabulous like gold shimmer sheen, and I love it. And then another one that I have is the L'Oreal. I love these L'Oreal Infallible in Endless Pearl. Now I will say this one, I was expecting it to be a pearl finish, but it's more of a matte. But I still like it because I use it on my, right under my eyebrow for a highlight under my eyebrow, and I still really like it. Oh, I forgot I packed this. Okay, this is the e.l.f. liquid eyeshadow in liquid gold, and I use this on the inner center of my eyelid as well sometimes, and then I will put the L'Oreal gold shimmer on top of it to make it pop just a little bit more. A loose setting powder all over my face just to blend everything. This is the Wet n Wild that's kind of worn off. The loose powder in banana. This is the banana one. So I really like this one. It smooths everything out just flawlessly. It gives me an airbrush finish. I love it. I use it along with the e.l.f. Kabuki brush, and like I said, the finish is amazing. And then I will do my highlight right after that. And right now I am using the e.l.f. Well, I use different ones, but for the trip I'm going to be using the e.l.f. highlights. I don't know if you can see that. It has such pretty sheen, and the shade is White Gold. And I love that. It's an e.l.f. Blush. So I had an empty Bare Minerals little pot, so I just potted it all in there, and now it's loose. And I just get a little bit out and swirl it in the lid and just put it on. I can't remember the name, but it's like a brick, like a pinky brick color, I would say, and I love this color. I don't use it enough. Oh, did I tell you what concealer I use? Sorry, this video is all over the place. The concealer I use at the moment is the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer Matte Finish in Light Sand. Onto my eyebrows for the last time. Okay, so I have this Brow Fast Sculpt by Maybelline New York in number 260 Deep Brown, and I will say this is even a little bit of light for me because my eyebrows are pretty dark just on the front bar right here, because I feel like sometimes the gel that I use on the rest of my eyebrows, sometimes I have a heavy hand and I will end up making the front look like so dark, and it just doesn't, it's not a good look. So I like to kind of feather it out up here with this, and then on the back of my eyebrows, or the end of my brows I guess you could say, like from here, the middle all the way to the end, I use this e.l.f. gel in Espresso, and that one I really like the shade of. That one's pretty dark and matches my brows pretty well. And I use a lighter hand. I will use my little spoolie. It's a two-ended e.l.f. brush.